Hi everyone, and welcome back to the No Show. Conversations for a kinder world. This is a very special episode for me because we're shining a light on people with disabilities who are using storytelling, creativity, and their voice to make people think and laugh at the same time. I recently watched a short comedy film called Pros and Coins, and I loved it. It's funny, it's thoughtful, and it's something we can all relate to. How to make big decisions in our lives. Do we listen to other people? Do we follow logic? Or do we trust our gut instinct? This film was created as part of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge, where I interview people from the cast. Joining me for this interview is director and actor Dashiell Meier, who stars as Marshal, and actor Vee Navarro, who plays Ashley. This film continues to open doors for talented filmmakers and actors with disabilities to tell their stories in their own voices. And today I have the honor of being joined by incredible artists who brought this film to life. Each of them brings not only talented but lived experience, perspectives, and authenticity to the screen. And that's what makes this film so meaningful. So let's bring them on camera to talk about Pros and Coins, their creative journey, and what it really means to follow your heart when it comes to life's biggest decisions. Please help me welcome Dashiell and Vee to the No Show. Hi Dashiell. Hi Vee. Thank you so much for having a special on the No Show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. It's so we're so honored to I'm so honored to be here to talk about pros and cons. I'm very happy to hear how it turned out. I'm very excited about this.
Thank you. Let's
Yeah.
start with the questions. These are for two of you. What inspired you all to be part of Pros and Coins? Dashiell, you start.
Yeah, pros and cons was a lot of fun to do, and what inspired me to do this was my my dad wrote the script, and I thought it was really well told, well written, and I wanted to showcase people with disabilities and Down syndrome in film. And I thought this would be as my second film for the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. I thought this one uh, was a very interesting with a very fun story, and I thought it was just awesome.
You, Vee?
So for me, I actually started wanting to work in special education, but I did film ever since high school, and I think why I wanted to join was because I watched this film a lot last year, Day 21, in which he won. And it just seemed like a really cool opportunity. So I just reached out to him via Instagram, and he said he had a poll for me, so I just went for it. So I had a lot of fun. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So this film is really about making choices, something we all struggle with. How do you all make through decisions in your own lives? Do you rely more on logic, advice, or your gut?
For me, he, I would say it's both because I am doing supported decision making, which means that I have a trusted team who helps me make decisions, and big or small ones. And and I also rely on my gut.
Thank you, Dashiell. Vee?
For me, I've had to make a bunch of good decisions in my life. I'm like 34. But for me, I like to seek out advice from people I know and people I trust. And kind of like Dashiell said, but I don't actually have the uh, support decision making. But I talk to people and I ask them their opinion, and then I just kind of take what they say, and then I use them to help advise me. So yeah, kind of both, like Dashiell said.
Thank you. The film was created for the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. You have only 5 days to write, produce, and submit your film. What was the filmmaking process like?
The filmmaking process was a lot of fun, but also time consuming because like you had to start filming at the beginning of the 5 days, and we had the locations and actors lined up, and my dad wrote the script, and so we kind of just when the 5 days started, we just started filming as much as we could. And that way we could have a pretty good like visuals for it. Then my mom did the editing, and we did multiple takes to get it right to the who so we'll all be happy with the overall film. And so it took us some time to do the editing. My mom made the poster and helped us with the posting on social media and all of that. It was just when I saw it was just this is awesome.
Vee?
So for me, I came in on, I believe it was on a Wednesday, and it just happened to be, so I don't have Down syndrome. I have something called cerebral palsy. So it was National CP Day. I came in, we filmed at Dashiell's neighbor's house, and it was just a lot of fun, a lot of laughter. And then after we were done filming, we got dessert and dinner after, and yeah. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of work. So yeah.
What makes the challenge so important for the disability community and the film industry? Anyone can answer this question.
Yeah, what's important about the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge is, is that it includes everyone with disabilities. It's not just one disability. And I I personally love that because of the representation of the different disabilities, and it gives us a chance to make films. And and by making films, we're getting jobs in the entertainment industry. Like, for example, oh, uh, like through the Easterseals Film Challenge, a few people with disabilities went off and made Goat. And I watched it. It was a really good movie, and that goes to show that people with disabilities have so much to offer to society and the world because are outstanding people and that we need to be seen for who we are, not the things that people put labels on.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I would just like to add, so I grew up in the 90s. I only remember like growing up like from the time I was one until the time I was 10. Only I watched a lot of TV as kids tend to do, and the only representation there were two, um, maybe two or three. And like that's a big problem because like disabilities is like 25% of the population. So like doing stuff like the disability Easterseals film challenge is really important to me because it's just allowing for people with disabilities to make films to say, hey, we're here. And it also helps the Hollywood recognize, hey, there's actually people with these disabilities who don't have to pretend that they have a disability and automatically win an Oscar. They can actually cast authentically, and I think that when you cast authentically, it just makes a better representation and better storytelling.
Thank
So
you.
that's why I think it's really important.
Thank you, V. So I got some information about the first person with a disability, and this person had cerebral palsy like you, V, and it was on Facts of Life, and that's the first representation for people with disabilities. And then it grew to Lauren Potter, to Luke Zimmerman, and there's more in the industry that people don't think about. So thank you for doing this film and be a part of it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. That's when his mom made it easy. I had a lot of fun.
Thanks. What was your favorite moment filming this together? Let's start with you, B.
Definitely my favorite moment was eating ice cream after the filming. We all walked over to the shopping center near the set and we had ice cream and that was really nice. It was just a community bonding experience, and I really liked it.
You, Dessel?
Yeah, for me, going off of what V said, is that it was so much fun doing this with my amazing cast. Everyone did an amazing job. The performance was outstanding, and one of my favorite scenes is the poker scene, and I and because it was really hard to film, but the most fun to film.
Mhm.
Because it was one of the hardest scenes in the script, and one of my favorite moments in it is when V's character talks about like the idea of it being bored with your decisions. I felt like that was really awesome, and that really shows the theme of the movie of making the decisions. You have to be brave enough, bold enough to make a choice. I love that.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dessel. My favorite scenes are anything that Sophia did, because I am a woman with Down syndrome, just like her.
Hmm.
And then I like the Nelson Mandela thing.
Nice.
So those are my favorites.
Yeah, those scenes were really fun to film. Like going into this, I didn't know anything about Nelson Mandela. And just the idea of that was just so cool. And and Sophia performance talk about like uh, an outstanding performance. And great personality she brought to it, and then I feel like her positivity made the movie more of like a positive story. That's why I was very moved by that.
Thank you, Dashiell. Dashiell, you directed and starred in this film. What's harder, directing or acting?
I mean, there's like directing is more complicated because you're involved in like every department, not just acting, and and that is a ton of responsibility for the cast and the crew. And acting is very easy. But you do have to memorize lines. There's some tedious work to it, but that's more of the on the more fun side because you get to put forth your personality into a character, her and her and bringing that character to life in your own unique way. And doing both it's kind of like a roller coaster kind of thing, thing, because you're constantly shifting responsibilities of directing the scene, acting in the scene, and then it's a lot to think about. Uh, but 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 at the end of the day, they're both really fun to do. Oh, and my love has always been, I love acting a lot. I've done it a lot, and but I also love directing because of the filmmaking process.
Which one is more of your passion?
I'm more, my passion is more directing because I e- I love just learning about behind the scenes, and it's just so much fun. That's like figuring out where the camera's gonna be, the storyboarding, the script writing. Ah, just thinking about it right now just warms my heart.
Thank you for sharing, Dashiell. What did you learn from the filmmaking challenge?
Since this was my second film for the film challenge, I learned a lot about being patient, and I learned a new style of filmmaking, which is a treat. And I learned to enjoy the process, not be stressed by it, because it can be very stressful. Oh, and as long as you and like another thing that I learned is that directing is very hard to do. Oh, because I'm still new to filmmaking and directing, and I'm still learning these skills. I'm still working on my acting. I'm still working on editing and different parts of the filmmaking process. And like at the end of the day, it's just a wonderful experience. And it's because experience is life's greatest teacher. And and that's what I love about just making films. Because it's not just a great way to meet and connect with people. It's that also you're all learning together. That's what I love.
The idea of flipping a coin, but really listening to your heart is powerful. How did you choose that as the central theme, Dashiell?
I chose that theme because when you think about making decisions, there's different elements to it. And there there's good decisions, but there's also consequences for every de decision. And so I, and the way I thought of it, when my dad wrote the script, I was like, I mean, like in the script, we didn't have very many coin flips, and I'm like, there's something, there's something there, or let's add more coin flips throughout the movie. Making the decisions in real life is kind of like a coin, and because there's two sides to it, and I wanted to showcase the coin flipping as a physical metaphor for the two different sides making decisions.
Thank you, Dashiell. V, was this your first time acting in a film? And if so, what do you want to pursue more acting?
Let's see. So I've done a little bit of acting. I went to a film school for people with disabilities and I acted a little bit there. But this is the first time on film that I was actually acting for the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. Um, I'm actually, because of my disability and because my speech is harder for people to understand, I actually don't. If I were to pursue filmmaking, I would either want to be a writer or an editor because really kind of difficult for me to act due to my speech being harder to understand. So I'm not a fortune teller, so I don't know what the future holds for me. So I don't know. But I hope to work on more stuff with Dashiell in the future. Definitely. So yeah.
How does your lived experience shape the roles you choose or the stories you want to tell?
For roles, I find it like I try to cast my characters with care, and I try to look for people who can give my characters something new, something fresh. That way they'll be remembered and memorable. Oh, because as a filmmaker, you want people to believe in your story. And for me, characters are plays a huge part in that. And so I felt like for this film, it should be character driven, and it definitely is.
Thank you, Dashiell. What impact do you want to have on audiences?
My target audience is always everyone because and because as an audience member myself, when I watch films, I have a lot of expectations for what I want to see. So as a filmmaker, I view my films from the perspective of the audience. I feel like all filmmakers should do this, even companies and studios, which is kind of going away now, but I I believe that when you look at it from the audience's perspective, you will see things that in your movie that wouldn't make as much sense, or storylines that doesn't translate, or characters that don't translate. So sometimes you have to look at it from a different perspective to really understand your movie from beginning to end, because I find that very, very powerful. And ultimately, I believe that's what makes movies great. The, like all of the great movies that we watch is because of movies that are r- made for the audience.
What is your favorite film that you can think of directing and the actors that you enjoy watching, Dashiell?
I enjoy watching Project Hail Mary because it's so well written, so well told. Even though I personally haven't read the book, look, I just love the story. I love stories that you actually go into those worlds, and you are in it with the characters. You when there's a twist, you're just as shocked as the characters are. I love that unspoken connection between the actors and the audience. It's very powerful. I love that.
If a young person with a disability wants to act, direct, or create, what's the real advice you would give them? Go ahead, Dashiell.
I would say go out there and make movies because the sky's the limit with ideas and storylines. Anything's possible as long as you have the imagination to create those stories. Be brave enough to who who find that passion that you're into, and then use that passion to make your stories stand the test of time.
And Vee, how about you?
I would say just go for it and have fun with it. Find a group of friends who also like it and just create. The world needs your story. It needs all types of stories. Um, yeah, every story is important. So, yeah.
Thank you, Vee. If you have any new projects coming up, please feel to share.
Yes, I am working on several new films. I am working on my very first feature documentary called Worthy, A History of Down Syndrome, where it explores the question why Down syndrome is a bad thing. And the concept is it's a film within a film, um, where I am directing a crew of people with Down syndrome and disabilities are making the documentary itself, and a separate film crew will be filming me directing the film, because as someone with Down syndrome, no one would actually believe that I'm actually making the movie. And so, uh, it's just another one of those things that you have to show how that you're worth something. And I feel like this documentary feature is going to change so many people.
Thank you, Dashiell. Maybe I can be part of your documentary.
Definitely.
I just want to say thank you again to Dashiell and Vee for such an honest, fun, and inspiring conversation. You can watch Pros and Coins on the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge YouTube page. The link will be added to the post. The finalists will be announced on May 3rd, and the winners will be announced on Thursday, May 7th, 2026. I'm wishing you all lots of luck and hope your film is a winner. I hope everyone watching joins me in cheering them on. Thank you.